So the coyote's coming down the trail like this, and he's looking around, and he comes through and he hooks and he goes and it catches them just like that, and then they're penny. They run around. Okay guys, Glenn again. Today's video is going to be on coyote snares. I ordered 12 snares. I don't know if you can see it, but I bought a 12 pack of cables with locks. They're not the best locks by what they're saying online, but they're locks, and they did come with swivels. When I ordered them, I didn't think they had them, but it came with swivels, so I was really happy to see that. So keep in mind, I have never trapped before. I'm just learning stuff on YouTube, and this is all new to me. I'm gonna give it my best shot. So okay guys, you can see I've changed. I look a little different, got a little sun. Well, last weekend's filming got cut a little short. I didn't get to finish working on my stuff. So let's have a look at what I did get done. I ended up making 8 of these plates. It's just a piece of L channel, and I drilled offset holes in it to where I can take rebars and crisscross them through it. I can shove one through this way, one back through this way to make hold downs. I went down to Lowe's and bought some of these big nuts. I'm going to weld them on the end of those rebars so I can drive those rebars in, and then the nut will come down and set right there. That way the rebar doesn't go all the way through. Okay, here's my rebar stakes. I welded the nuts onto the end of them. That way I can drive them in and they won't go through the holes. And here's the tie downs, or whatever you want to call them. You drive the stakes through the little plates and lock it to the ground. Then you've got a little cable here with a swivel on it so that it'll spin. And then I can hook my snare up to this, or my foothold up to this cable right here. I bought these snares online, and they came with the swivel, which was really nice. But they came with this lock setup. It's just a little washer bent over with the cable. I'm not even sure how these things work, to be honest. I think it's supposed to go like that, to where the lock sits like that, and you hang it like this, and then when the animal comes through, it's supposed to go down, but it doesn't go down. I have to pull it down. I found a guy online that gave me a better design. So I went back and I made these little washers. I bent it and just drilled a hole here, and then up through there I drilled a hole, and I'll show you how they work. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm taking this whole thing apart and I'm starting over from scratch. So what I do is I take this end right here is no good. This lock setup's no good. The cable's got a kink in it. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting it right at the end of that. I cut that off. I pull this off, and then I pull everything off. All my parts. So I'm taking everything off there. Now, let's pretend like we're starting fresh. I've got a piece of cable. I put my furrow, or whatever it's called, on the end. I've got it on, ready to go. Now, the guy online showed me how to do this, and man, it really works. You take this, you spin it around like this, and line it up with itself. And what that does, it gives you the natural bow of the cable. Then you take your cable like this. Now you've got the natural bow. You take this end like this, and you want to bend it straight back with that natural bow. So you take that natural bow like that, and you bend it straight back over itself, pull this out, and then kink it. Now, what I didn't realize, I didn't even think about it, is these cables are only good for one catch. Once you catch an animal once, it destroys this cable. You can't use it again. So it really doesn't matter that you put this little kink in there. And I'll tell you what, this little kink really helps, and I'll show you why. Here's my washer I made. And then what you got to do is you got to take the flat part of the washer and put it up, because that's what's going to touch the coyote's skin, or the fur. So you put that on, you bring it down to the end, and then when you hit the end, if you take this and click it over that kink up against the end like that. Now watch, if I put this through this piece, okay, now if I put this through, see how the cable's got a teardrop shape to it? If I drop this, see, it doesn't want to go down, and it stops right there with a big circle. I'm going to show you how to make this drop better and make a better circle. Now, the reason it does that is because this cable is so straight. So what I have to do is I have to take it and you rub it over a piece of metal. Like say you got a piece of metal like this. You rub it like this and it'll make a candy cane shape in there. I'll do it real quick. I'll shape it and then I'll come back. You see how the cable now has like a candy cane shape to it? So now if I take this and I loop my cable back up around and put it through there and put it back through there, now I have to reshape it a little bit, do a little bending on it. But the thing holds a shape. You want a size about like that, to where when you set it up like this, you want it to drop down. Look at that. You see how fast that drops and how easy it drops just by reshaping the cable. Then the other thing you want to do is you want to take this and slide it up and down the cable a couple times. What that does, it takes the burrs off the cable and it lets it slide a lot easier. So you just deburr the cable a little bit. Now you take this, you run it back up, there's your thing, and you don't want to put it right next to your lock because then it doesn't slide as easy. You want it to be away from the lock a little bit, so you want to be about here. And see, look at this thing works so good. If I even tilt it, look at that, all the way down. The animal does not have to fight that to pull it down tight. So I've got that working a lot better. Now all I do is I go back here, I shove my swivel on there, I put my end on there, and then you cramp a barrel for, I can't say that word, but I don't have a barrel one, so I'm using this type, which still works. I just have to put it on there and then do a little bit of grinding on it. I didn't, like I said, I didn't have a burrow one, but I just used that one and flattened it all out. It still spins real nice and everything. So this cable's all done now. And man, they work way better, a lot better. I've already done up all my cables right here. Here they all are. I've already redone them all with the new washers and got them all set up. Now I'm going to go back and touch the paint up, and then I'll reboil them, rinse them all off real good, let them dry, and then I'll put them in Ziploc bags because you don't want to touch them. You don't want to get your scent on them. The paint, even, you should let them dry for a couple weeks because they can smell that paint. Okay guys, here's all my stakes, and then I have 6 hold downs and 6 cables. I don't have enough stakes to do all 6. I need 3 more stakes, but for now, though, I can round those up later. Alright, I'm going to show you how these connect to the snare. You take the swivel of the snare, you slide this through the swivel. Then you take the end of your cable and you just slide your cable through this, like so. All of it runs right through there, and then you just pull it up through, and your swivel will hook to your cable like so. Now you have a swivel here that swivels, and you also have a swivel here. You don't want the cable to bind up, because if it binds up, the animal can break the cable. Alright, I'm going to walk you through how this snare works. I'm going to try. I set up my wire. Your wire will normally loop down to the ground, and it goes in the ground kind of by your hold down. But this, just to show you, I put the wire here, I locked my hold down to the bench, and then you set your loop right there in a path kind of where the animals run. Like if you have a coyote trail where they're running all the time, you set this, you put some weeds and stuff, some sticks around it so they don't notice the cable. And then I'll be the coyote. So the coyote's coming down the trail like this, and he's looking around, and he comes through and he hooks and he goes, and it catches them just like that. And then they're penning. They run around and it ends up winding up, and then it'll grab them just like that. And then they're right there, see? And there's no way a coyote's getting that back off. It hooks down like that and it holds them until you get there. And then a lot of times it won't always go around their neck. Sometimes it hooks them like this because they'll step through, and then it holds them like that, or even sometimes around the waist. But that's how a snare works. And that's what this little piece of plastic tube's for. It holds it right here on this piece of wire. That's what holds the snare up. See, and then like I said, as long as you don't hook it too close, as soon as they bump it, look at that. It pinches right down on them to where they can't get away. That's why you need all these swivels, because an animal will get in there and start spinning. It'll twist around everything trying to break this cable. But as long as you have these swivels, see, it can just spin and spin and spin, and you're good. Alright, I hope I demonstrated that good enough. That's as good as I could do. You know, through this whole process, I think the thing I've learned the most about this trap and stuff is it's a lot cheaper to do it yourself. I bought those snares online. They were only like 20 bucks. And I was happy to see they came with the swivel. But if you build them yourself, they're really cheap. The cable's real cheap to buy online. The furrows for the end are real cheap if you buy them in bulk. The lock is just a washer. You can buy those at Lowe's real cheap, bend them yourself, drill holes in them. The swivel is the only hard part. I am currently building a tool to make my own swivels. I'm making a video on that, so that should be out soon. But with that, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys liked the video. I'm still learning about this trapping stuff, but I'm having a lot of fun doing it and learning it and researching, and it's a lot of fun. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys.